Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. I'm Gav. I have Shawnee with me. It is Wednesday, the 28th of August, and Liverpool are about to sign Federico Chiesa from Juventus for around £10 million plus 2.5 million in add-ons. We've loads to talk about. We're going to talk about Chiesa. We're going to talk about Bajcetic. There's a couple more names being thrown up. There's loads of moves happening around the league, apparently, and we'll have a little word on them as well. Shawnee, straight into it, no messing. Chiesa, 10 million quid, 4-year deal. Arrived in Liverpool this afternoon for what looks like a medical, and this could be announced, if not tonight, early tomorrow morning. How are you feeling on it?
Good. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. It makes a lot of sense. I think it's one area of the squad that actually not many people talked about because there is other needs in the squad. But yeah, like we haven't had really a natural right-sided attacking player to back up Mao since he's come in. Really, um, we've tried Elliott there, we tried Carvalho there for half a season. Um, Look, I'm delighted with it. I think it's a no-brainer. It's a really, really low risk, high reward sort of transfer to make. And look, I think if you're making this signing probably 2 or 3 years ago, it's probably costing you 10 times what we paid. To be honest with you, you're looking at a fella who's highly touted as a €100 million footballer. So yeah, hopefully he can.
That was when was that, Shawnee? Was that like
After the
was
Euros,
after the Euros
2001,
2000,
2021.
2021, and that was around the time when it was it was like rumored that maybe Mane was going to go. Do you remember Madrid, and
Yeah,
there was all this stuff
yeah,
going
yeah.
on, and it was like, oh, they're going to go for Chiesa, and it was €100 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the clubs were quoted 100 million euros. There was talk at the time that Liverpool made a really high bid,
Yeah.
but what happened at the time was he still belonged to Fiorentina, and Juventus couldn't really afford him because he'd allow the people on the books, and he was on loan at Juventus first, and then Juventus ended up being able to do the deal, and he ended up staying there. But yeah, look, he's electric. Look, I haven't watched any of the highlight reels that aren't going around because look, I've seen enough of him. He's an electric footballer. He's the type of footballer that gets you up off your seat. Like I think when Richard Hughes talked about being opportunistic, I think this is a really really opportunistic Simon. And this look, he could come in and get injured and not play much football, and it's low risk. It's not. There's not a lot of capital involved. But if he hits, you laugh, and he can play across all the front three. He's comfortable playing off the left. He plays naturally off the right side, and he can even do a job in like a cam or sort of 10 sort of position. So yeah, look, I think it's a well, I think it's a brilliant deal. And like, forget the frustrations about what else is going on in the window. I think in a scenario where this fella is like Chiesa is a real icing on the cake signing, like for me. And I just think that the cherry on top of the icing, I just think that we need a bit of icing now in the next 2 days, by being honest. But yeah, look, I'm delighted with it. Genuinely, I am. I think it's crucial as well that Mao has cover, and we can take Mao off at 50 and 60 being comfortable. Because don't get me wrong, I like Elliot and he's done a job for us. But when you're bringing Elliot on wide right, you become a different team. He's not the same type of player as a Salah who's getting to the
But
byline. Or
he's more and more needed in midfield as well now because of the
yeah,
numbers in there.
exactly.
Um, 26 years of age, 27 I think at the end of October. So he's in that kind of he's in that slot where he's in the prime, and he's what Liverpool like to sign in around that age. Probably a little bit. Liverpool like that 23, 24 year old. But a lot's being made over his injury record. And when I genuinely did when I heard his name being linked, all I thought about was that ACL. And but I
Not good.
genuinely hadn't a clue how many games he played since 2023, I think. And I was like, what has he played? And then somebody came up and said, look, he played 33 league games or something last season. 7 or 8 goals, 4 or 5 assists, something like that. And when I looked into it, I actually looked into it because I seen a tweet that annoyed me. Basically going back to his injury record since 2021. Just so they could get the ACL in, and go, oh, he's missed 80 games since whatever. And I was like, yeah, but 50 of them was probably the ACL, in fairness. The rest is over a 5-year period. But I'm with you a bit on it. I think 10 million quid. Juventus are worried that they'll. I don't think they're getting him at 10 million because of an injury record. I think they're getting him at 10 million because Juventus are genuinely worried he'll go. He'll sign a pre-contract in January for nothing. So they're taking the 10 million now, and they want to bring a couple of players in themselves. I think Jadon Sancho's being linked to them as well. Brian says he's played 70 games in the last 2 seasons. But opportunistic, yeah. Surprising, absolutely. I did think Liverpool would go with the 5 up front, and I thought maybe if Dan's gets fit, you might slot in there as a 6th. And if we are bringing in a player, you might see one leave. That looks very unlikely now. It looks like they'll bring in Chiesa and have those 6 as your forward 6, and it's a really good. I think it's a really good signing. I think like you said, it's low risk, but the reward could be off the charts here. And I'm going to be honest. I did see a couple of these, video clips of him today, and tearing by fellas and scoring goals and stuff like that. Looks quite robust as well. In fairness to him.
Yeah, he's not small.
No, he's not. He's not a small guy at all. He's not a small guy at all. But
do you know who reminds me a little bit? Like, it's kind of like
Paddy McCourt.
It's like having a Craig. It's like having Craig Bellamy. It's like having a Craig Bellamy toy player in your team. Like, Bellamy was a great signing for Dalglish. He scored a couple of big goals, and it was great to bring in. Say you're playing midweek games or away in the Champions League, and you just need to mix it up a little bit. That's exactly the sort of player it is. He's versatile enough where he can play off the left, cutting in onto his right, or he can play as an out and out wide right, just getting at his fullback. Look, the upside is huge, and the downside is very
it's minimal.
He's a brilliant finisher as well. He's a really, really good finisher. Look,
are we underplaying him a bit? I know you were saying he comes in and he he's cover for Mo, and that makes absolute sense. When you look at Diaz and you look at Gakpo down on the left, you look at Nunes, and you look at Jota through the middle, and then you're looking at Salah, and you're putting an awful lot on a 33-year-old here. He's in the condition of his life, but we want to do what you just said. On 60 minutes. No offense to Elliot or anybody else that's coming on, but on 60 minutes, if you can throw a Chiesa onto a pitch and you're 2-3-0 up, you're giving Salah a break and you're giving him plenty of time to impress and influence the game. Because he can play across all the front three, I think we're probably underplaying him a little bit.
Yeah, look, put it this way, right? Look at it from this perspective. Say we're playing, who could it be? We play Ipswich at home in the back end of the season. It's 0-0 late into the game, and you're hooking Mo off, and their left full is thinking, thank Jesus, and next of all, fucking Chiesa's coming on. It's then they're like breathing out their arse going, Jesus. Whereas if Elliot comes on, you're kind of going, he's a different type. But no, I'm not using this as an opportunity to dig Elliot out. But it's just, I just think it's a perfect option. To be honest with you, I think when I seen the picture of our front 6 now, pending the medical and everything goes well, I think it's more than good enough for what we're trying to do. Forget about the issues we'll talk about them, but I think in the strikers department, I think it's perfect, because in an ideal world, Doak plays a lot more football than he does last year, and we could kind of give him that role this year. But Doak needs to go out on loan and play football, I feel. And another thing as well, I think that and I'm hoping, and probably hoping our hope here, I think it probably signals that Mo Salah's long-term future is probably at the club as well, because they haven't went and splashed 70 or 80 million on a fella who's 22, 23, ready to burst onto the scene and become the next one, where they're probably saying, well, we can do this fella in behind Mo for another year or two and we'll be grand. So that's one way of looking at it. Look, I'm delighted with all goes well with the medical and all. I'm delighted with this sign. Genuinely, I think it's a very, very clever bit of business, considering the bits of business we've gone before it. Like Bobby Clark's transfer fees basically pay for this.
Yeah, yeah, it has. It has, yeah. Like, I mean, we've taken quite a bit of money in this summer, and people are expecting Liverpool to spend a lot of it. But they've spent future proofing kind of goalkeeper at 30 million, 35 million, and then you have this guy at 10. But you know, when you look at what we have now in them front positions, you know, um, it tells you slot does want to rotate both in game and game to game. I think we've seen like Diaz and we've seen Jota and we've seen Salah for the first two games up front. And don't get me wrong, we'll probably see them on Sunday. But I think he wants the ability to go, you know what, I can change two of them at the weekend, or I can change one of them. And then the week after, I can probably change another two. And then during the game, I can get two of them off the pitch. You know what I mean? And having five I think, is probably enough. But having six is definitely enough. And I think that sort of money is just mad. Like, honestly, when I seen him again, I go back to it. I seen it and went, how much has he played? But he's played it quite a lot, you know. And I always watch for different supporters' reactions, non-Liverpool supporters' reactions, and I haven't seen a bad one. I haven't seen a bad one from United or Arsenal. I've seen a lot of United fans I know and Arsenal fans I know, and I only follow certain amounts of them, and certain people that I kind of get on with, and they've all said, "Jesus, 10 million for that guy is just stupid." Like, do you know what I mean? Absolutely stupid, and it
I
doesn't.
think
I think allows Elliot to go back into that midfield position where he done so well in pre-season that he can just go, I'm a midfielder now. I'm not going to hover out here and I'm a midfielder, and I'm going in there. But we get on to midfielders in a minute. Go on. What were you going to say?
it's just on the injury. Like I think when anyone ever does a hamstring or a knee, you always worry about the pace, but like it's still there in spades. Like it hasn't changed him as a player really. In terms of the explosiveness and the getting away from players, we've still seen that in recent years from him. So like once that's past him, like you need to like Darwin Núñez done his ACL.
Mm.
Darwin Núñez does his ACL early in his career. Like you know what I mean, and that's something that's not kind of talked about enough. Yeah, look, as far as it, look, I think when we heard them saying it's hard to find players who improve us as a squad. I know it's frustrating for people to hear, but like this is a case in point where I literally go. But taking this fella who was borderline world class before a serious injury, and we're gonna rejuvenate him and give him a go. Like I don't see the downsides to this transfer. And if there is any, like throw them in and we'll discuss them. But
Yeah. Chris
I just
Prosser
don't.
says,
I just even think people in the most negative heart of hearts, they can't. You can't pick holes in this.
well, the thing is, so Chris Prosser says he actually recorded the fastest player in the Euros during the summer. So he still has the pace. Brian O'Halloran says it's great he immediately wanted to come here and not wait for Barca. He's got desire to succeed, which is fair. And that's kind of touching on
He has good English as well.
yeah, speaks really good English.
Yeah,
But like when you talk about, you know, it depends what attitude you go into the summer with. You know, yeah, you want to improve your squad. A lot of people say, no, let's improve the first team. I can see both sides of the argument. You know, like I genuinely think a really good number six improves our first team, but I think a Chiesa signing improves our squad. And that's not to say he doesn't come on and play down the left or plays down the right and they throw Salah through the middle for certain games and he improves your first team as well. He's a sort of player that I don't think you're doubting his ability. I just think you're dying to see what he can bring. Do you know the sort of way? Like I remember going back to that time when there was €100 million, and I remember speaking to you about it, and you saying to me, "Gav, he's fucking brilliant. This fella, do you know what I mean? He's absolutely brilliant." And I
yeah.
was like,
Well,
"Shawnee,
put
I've
him
seen a
back
bit.
then.
Yeah, but I've only seen a bit of him in the Euros, like." And you're like, "No, Gav, seriously, this fella is the bizzo." Like, but I think it's a bit like the game on Sunday. We're all standing there going, "What's going to happen here? What way is he going to play?" And thing. And with this signing, you know, we know how good he has been. We know he's been fairly reliable since that ACL. But it's just kind of get him on the pitch and let's see what he brings. You know what I mean? And he might turn out to be a brilliant impact sub. He might turn out to be brilliant on the left. He might end up being a starter on the right. We don't know. But I think it's just the anticipation to see what he can bring. You know, that stuff with the injury will always be in the background, and it'll probably be used as a stick to beat him with. If he doesn't have a good game, but like, nah, he's not the same since the ACL, which is, most of the clips I've seen have been of the last 2 years. So it's an interesting one. But Liverpool look like they've pulled off a really, really good deal here. I don't think, like you said, you can pick many holes in it. In this deal alone, I don't think you can pick many holes in it, because we've ended up with what looks like a really, really good option as for your sixth player up front. And I'm not saying sixth in the sense that he's sixth choice. I mean, to fill in that team of six up front, you've ended up with a really, really good option that we just have to wait and see what happens. But it looks like he'll sign. It looks like it should be announced. I don't think tonight, but it'll be announced tomorrow early, I would say. We'll be into Thursday then. There's less than 48 hours left. Is there? No, just over 48 hours left before the window closes. Another player that's being mentioned, though, Shawnee, is Stefan Bajcetic. This has been rumbling on for the last week or so, but really came to kind of a head yesterday when reports came out to say that it looks like Liverpool will allow him to go on loan to Salzburg. No, wasn't it Salzburg he wanted to go to? Yes. Yeah, Bobby Clark has gone there, and, that maybe that he will go there alone, no option, none of that, straight loan, one season. Liverpool probably looking to get him as many minutes as they can after a recovery year last year. Today, it's being mentioned that Barcelona have now come in and offered and said, we'd like to take him on loan. There's mixed reports there to say they'll pay 4 million as a loan fee, but they want a 30 million euro option to buy, with Liverpool getting a buyback of a certain amount afterwards. Couple of things on this, Shawnee. One, is it a good move for him? And two, if it is a good move for him and Liverpool do it, they have to be doing something in midfield here, Shawnee. Because they're just constantly putting players out.
I don't think they are. I think they're gonna keep Tyler Martin. I think they're gonna play Tyler. I think they're gonna go with Tyler Martin. And I know a few heads will fall off in the chat there, but that's up to you. Yeah, all ground.
They've rejected. Liverpool have rejected the move apparently from.
I think I see them howling Martin around, which is just weird to me, because I thought he probably would have featured a little bit more in the pre-season. I wouldn't be sending Bajcetic to Barca. Not at all.
I wouldn't give them the steam on me.
No, nor I. I'd let him go to let him go and play with Pep. He's guaranteed to play. He's going to play Champions League football there as well. They qualified for the Champions League stage, as it's called these days, as we'll learn quick enough.
Tomorrow we learn, won't we?
Yeah. So I'd be letting them go to over to Pep and be doing Pep solid. I wouldn't be doing Barcelona any favours.
No, but someone says there, Bajcetic has, there you go, Bob says, Bajcetic has 2 years left on his contract. Is this one where you see them offering him a long-term deal and sending him on loan? You know, really usually do this, because Bajcetic goes away for a year, comes back, 12 months left on his contract, doesn't get it, doesn't feel like he's getting the look in again, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm going, listen, I'll just wait for 6 months and I'm out of here. Do Liverpool have to protect their asset as well?
Yeah, but look, don't get me wrong. I really like the kid, and the run he had in the team when we had nobody. He done really well, and he looked promising. But I think he's one of them players who he almost got better.
Passio says Bajcetic actually has a contract until 2027, which that is a lot of fears. Thanks a million.
Yeah, he's one of them players who actually got better while he was out injured, if you kind of get me. Kind of his notoriety grew because he was out for a year, and it's clear to see that the club managed him to within an inch of his life last year. I'd lend him out and let him play as much football as he can. Barcelona's a basket case, and what happens there is, if a manager has a few dodgy results, then he's going to just be liable to leave someone like him out of the team, scrounging for results. And they're only signing them because their lad Bernal went down with an ACL yesterday. So I'd be all on board and letting him go over to Salzburg. I wouldn't be giving him to Barca. Now, obviously, I think because Liverpool maybe said to the player, look, find yourself alone, they're probably going to make him decide and let him make his own decision. But I think he'd be way more. It'd be the smarter option for him if we go to Austria, in my opinion.
Yeah, he goes to Austria. He goes to a coach that knows him. He has a fellow young player that's gone there, so it's not like he knows nobody. I think that they're the pros of it. I think also the pros of it is if Linders is taking him, I think Liverpool will be saying to Linders, listen, if he goes over there, he has to play a certain amount of games. We're not having this where Boycheta sits over there and plays 10 minutes every second week. The sort of way we need him playing. So Liverpool are in the driving seat there where it comes to making their demands and that. With regards to the player, they're going to have some big conversations with him, or have had big conversations with him to say, listen, we really, really rate you, but you've been out for a year, but we're trying to implement something here. We need you fitter. We need you fitter and stronger. We need you to get a year's football under your belt. We can't do it right now. Don't get me wrong, if Boycheta was coming back this year, under Slot and coming back into next season, I think Slot would have more time from and more ways to get him in. But it just feels like, and I love him as a player. I think he'd suit our system down to the ground, playing that deep position. I really, really do. But when you look out for the player, you kind of have to say, look, go and play a year's football. We think you're brilliant. We absolutely think you're brilliant. But go and play a year's football and come back. You'll still be a very, very young guy. And we'll look to get you in that side next year. So we'll have to wait and see.
Jerry's saying there that Tyler Martin's a championship player. It's funny though that Xabi Alonso wants my boy Leverkusen now, isn't it?
Yeah, Tyler Martin is wanted. Tyler Martin is wanted badly by Bayer Leverkusen.
We turned it down.
I think it might have been
champions of Germany.
Yeah, want them to go there. I think it was about 10 million, and Liverpool have turned it down. But if they don't, if Boycheta goes to Salzburg and they keep Martin,
but still looking quality. It's not going to get it done quality wise.
No, because what we're down to then is we're down to Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Elliot Jones, Endo. That's your 6, and then Martin will be our 7th.
They're going to play Leone as well.
Yeah,
he's already said his name.
Yeah. But the only thing about that is that if you're going to play training only, right? I want to see training only in squads. I want to see him coming on and playing. I don't want to see training only or Tyler Martin being fucked into a team in the end of November because we've had a load of games and team players coming back from international break are a bit groggy. I want them playing games. I want them getting time. I want to, maybe United is the wrong place to start this, but we have a couple of home games after that where I want the both of them in the squad. If you're going to use them, use them. Don't just leave them sitting hanging and then go, they're our break glass fucking emergency. You need them as part of the squad. The whole idea here is we're talking about the 6 up front, right? And switching them around. I don't think Endo works in this. So I think you're down to, if you actually realistically look at it, you have got, the lads have told you, with just 5 of them, right? Yeah. And then you have training only and Tyler Martin, if that makes up your 7. Do you know what I mean? And they need to be playing. They need to be playing. They need to be involved. And that's why I think they should be going in for a midfielder, because
there's no look. I
can't see where they get them. I can't see where he involves them. I think they'll just be there as numbers, and they throw them in every now and then. And that,
if they're the only ones we have around and they don't get used, that's a good thing, because it means we haven't needed them.
Yeah.
Listen. I'll put it this way, right? It's quite obvious the club wanted Zubimendi. The deal didn't happen for reasons outside the club's power. Whether you feel another way about that, I don't know what to tell you. That's just the cold hard facts. The club put it out there to are confident in getting this fella, and then when Sociedad put him under a bit of pressure, he didn't want to come anymore. There's nothing they can do about that. They're not gonna compromise. I don't know what the answer is in the 6. I don't know whether Edison is good enough on the ball. I haven't seen enough of him. I don't know whether he is good enough. Who's it? What's your man Joe Pedro off Wolves? Don't know whether he's good enough in the ball to do what we need to do.
Your man Andre's on his way to Wolves for 22 million.
Andre, from what I've seen, is exactly kind of the type of player that we needed, but we haven't went from him. He's gone to Wolves, so I don't know. Like, listen, I'm all about Liverpool going out and buying the right players, but at the same time, I don't want to fucking just shell out 40, 50 million for the sake of it. It has to be the player that suits the system.
Bruno
Simple as
Guimaraes'
that.
names comes up constantly.
Bruno Guimaraes is not a 6.
I don't think he's a 6 either.
No, he's an all-action 8. He's an all-action 8. He's not a 6. No matter how expensive, he's not a 6. He's just not.
And people think we're not playing a 6 here because Gravenberch is playing it. We clearly are. Like I watched with my own eyes on Sunday. Like Gravenberch literally stood 10 yards from his centre backs for the whole game. Didn't go anywhere apart from pressing for on behalf of Mo Salah.
Like it's kind of like it. I don't know. Like if you are playing, if it's Klopp's team, there's infinitely more CDMs you can throw in there because a lot less is actually being asked them. They just need to walk. Like Ugarte would have walked perfectly for Klopp, but you couldn't put him in this team because he can't pass water. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's hard. And you read the bits from Ian Gordon's book. It's literally in writing. That's the mantra. If they don't feel like something, the juice is worth the squeeze, they're just not going to do it. They tried to boycott Suicida last year, didn't have people turning around going, "Where's the Suicida money?" They just want to go around and blow 100 million in for the sake of it. Like, listen, the window closes in 2 days. I don't think we're going to sign a midfielder, and I don't think we're going to sign another centre back. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's going to get it done for a team who wants to win leagues. When it comes to, you need to say to yourself, is that exactly what they want to do? Is that what they're aiming to do this year? Now, opportunity might beckon this year. City lose a few points and you're in a title race, and that would be it. Yeah, but whatever. But I don't see them. I don't see them going out. I don't see the player who's available that they want in the next 2 days.
Now, can I just stop you? When you say that, I don't think you're championing the fact that there should be only Zubimendi and nobody else.
No,
you're just going on the way they behave.
These are paid hundreds of thousands of years in salary to do scouting and crunch numbers and do all the data and put it all together and combine and come up with a list of players who are good enough. I don't know. Like, it could be a fact of your man Carlos Baleba or something from Brighton or someone that they probably want and can't get into. Like that.
By the way, he was unreal when he came on the other day against United.
Yeah, but that's what Brighton do. Like,
I honestly, God, he came on the pitch, Johnny, and I didn't have a clue who he was, and I was like, "Who is this fella in midfield?" He's and the thing is,
if Liverpool had signed him last year, all the fucking mound bags in the chatter on Twitter would have been going, "Oh, going to buy this jumping now." Like, listen, you can't win. I don't look. I'm annoyed. I'll be annoyed if you get to Friday and you haven't bought a midfielder. But what's the fucking point? Like, you know, I don't. What's the point in?
But you see,
we'll do a show and this is all over and we quit. Like, again, it'll come down to it. The common denominator is I'm just being honest with you because I don't think I'm not FSG in. I'm not FSG out. I'm a Liverpool fan. At the end of the day, so I couldn't give a bollocks really who owns us as long as it's not some sheikh who I just don't want to be owned by a state. I'm not for it. I'm just not for it. It's, at the end of the day, I don't give a bollocks who. They're only custodians of the club. But the way I look at it is if we finish up on Friday, having only got Chiesa in and Mamadashvili, which is a fucking brilliant signing, by the way. Let's not take away, mate. It's an excellent bit of business. Then again, it's another season where I feel like we're going in light in more than one department, and it's just not. It's for me, it's not good enough because we seen last year what happened after that match. The wheels came off. We hadn't got the fucking bodies. We hadn't got the quality. Like asking the same players to go to well again and again. I understand there was the discourse as well of Klopp leaving as well that led into this, but I'm not going to say
But my
The
thing
process
is,
is the
right?
process, and whether I like it or not, I'm not going to spend my fucking time bitching and moaning about it on a platform where anybody who matters is not listening. Like, we went, if Liverpool don't sign another midfielder, I'll gladly take a ticket if you don't want to go to games anymore. Just give me a shout, because I'll still be there anyway. So it is frustrating, and I can see why people are frustrated, but like, people like tweeting John Henry and all. John Henry hasn't a clue. Probably doesn't even know what's going on. Like, John Henry is so far away from Liverpool, you could not believe it. You need to be looking at Mike Gordon or Billy Gordon, fucking whatever the fuck I see,
My God,
whatever
Billy
his
Hogan.
name is. Billy Hogan, Michael Jordan, fucking Magic Johnson, whatever you call him. Could be looking at him, looking at Hughes,
Mike Baldwin.
looking at Mike Baldwin, Alec Baldwin, all the Baldwins, all them
Yeah.
boys who made all the films. You need to be looking at Richard Hughes and
All the
not
Baldwins.
even Mike, all the Baldwins, like. They come in late, in fairness. They come in late and they said they're going to do business in August. They clearly tried to do a fucking Silver Mendy and it didn't work out. We're at the ending up at egg in our face again. Like, stop wasting your time. If it makes you feel better, whinge about it. But I don't even think it does. I think it probably just makes you more miserable.
Well, come here. Look, I like talking about it. I like discussing it. I like, debating it and stuff like that. That's what it's all about. But like, at the end of the day, I'll be watching Liverpool games and hoping they win. And if they lose, I just go if they lost. Do you know what I mean? And if they win, I'm delighted.
Yeah.
But
like Limpin' Monkey's comment there, like, I don't even agree with you, Limpin' Monkey. I can't remember the last time Liverpool turned around and say we had a good window. Maybe the summer we signed Jota and Thiago. That, I'm being honest with you. Like, I see where people's frustration are coming from, but this is my point. Moaning about it doesn't fucking change anything. That's probably the only window, lad. When we done Thiago and Jota in the space of 48 hours, you're like, fucking hell, this is brilliant. But we knew we were short centre backs, and then 3 weeks later we had none. Remember?
yeah.
So
and then
I understand
in.
people. Yeah, I understand people's frustrations. Like, it is annoying, but it's fuck all you can do. Like, I would have wanted Liverpool to do a centre back and out. Like, Thiago and Matip went. They should have been replaced. Simple as that. No matter how little or much they played.
Yeah.
But
It's, you see, my thing on the midfield is, right, and I'm only going on the evidence of what I've seen this summer, right? He plays Endo, and about 20 minutes into the Betis game, he realises Endo can't play on this team, right? And Endo's still there, right? He tries to sign Zubimendi because he feels he needs somebody in there, and it doesn't happen. For whatever reason, it doesn't happen. And then it's kind of throw it out to the press there. There aren't all these lads great. And I'm telling you, Ryan Gravenberch was man of the match for me at the weekend. Right, I thought he was excellent. Right, but my whole point about this is that you've let Bobby Clark go, who's a midfielder. You've let Bobby Clark go. You're letting Stefan Bajcetic go by the looks of it. You've torn down a bid for Tyler Morton, who hasn't been seen since the preseason.
Yeah, that's why. That's
just hasn't been seen, right? And you're and who's the first midfielder that comes on the other day? It's Endo. He comes on for Ryan Gravenberch the other day. So what I'm saying is, they can't, like, just on evidence alone, I don't think they can tell you they're okay. I just don't. And listen, I get the process, and I get the, like, I'm sick to the back teeth of people going on about Liverpool not spending money and FSG taking this and FSG taking that one. Clearly, if you go and look at the accounts, it's absolute bollocks, right? But that's the model we have, and you can like it and don't like it.
That's make
but part of what I don't like.
Penny out of.
I know that. I know, but this is the sort of stuff you're up against. But when it comes to midfielder, we have Ryan Gravenberch sitting in a position, and he's a good player, sitting in a position where we desperately tried to sign Martin Zubimendi. Okay, Szoboszlai, fine. McAllister, absolutely fine. You have Harvey Elliott, that I thought had a really good pre-season, and when he's brought on the other day, he put up front, not in midfield, right? You've got Curtis Jones, who has an injury, and it happens to him, and we know that. That's fine. And the next option is Endo. who plays against Betis, and your man goes, fucking hell, I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole in this deep line midfielder. And he's the guy that comes on at the weekend. And that's all you need to really know. Do you know what I mean? So, my argument on it all is, right, if you really wanted Zubimendi, I can absolutely see why he'd be your number one thing. But my argument would be, if you can't get Zubimendi, take Endo and sell him, because he's not going to work. I like the guy. I think he's a good player. I think he could work in certain games where you're under the caution, you need somebody to come in and close a game down. I like him for that. But if you don't fancy him at all, go and sign somebody that's between Endo and Zubimendi. Go and sign him. Because then it means then you can still do the Gravenberch thing, but if needs be, and Gravenberch need a 4-4 because a Szoboszlai or an Elliott or a Jones or a McAllister can't play for whatever reason, you bring this guy in and you go, he's better than Endo. And if he's better than Endo in that position, he's probably as good as Gravenberch in it. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it has to be 100 million on a player that you're going to have for 5 years. It could be 25 to 30 million on somebody that you keep for 2 years, you turn it around, and you get most of that back in 2 years, and then you go and sign who you want. It doesn't make sense based on the evidence of what we've seen in pre-season and what the club have attempted to do this summer, that they will sit here at 11 o'clock on Friday night and go, air midfield is fine. It just doesn't.
Yeah, no, look, it can't fly because you know they tried. The pursuit of the fucking mystical number 6 midfielder has been coursed off the rip with too many forced.
Drawn at home to West Ham in the League Cup, by the way, just to let you
know. Yeah, we too many forced Caicedo, Lavia, and now fucking Zubimendi. Like it hasn't went well, so to speak. But look, I don't know if the right number 6 is out there. They should know who he is anyway. Like that's their job. To be fair, it's not me who probably watches a bit of football on the weekend to know where they should be looking to pull these players out. There's a lad at Salzburg that they're all saying we should be going for, a French lad. I don't know his name. He has one of those triple barrel names. But I don't know. Like we used to be really good at this thing, doing the transfer windows and getting it right. But to be honest with you, we've lost our way a little bit in the last couple of years, to tell you the truth. And I'm not saying Chiesa papers over cracks, because it doesn't, because we're still talking about them here. Like, you know, like we're still addressing it. It's as bad as a window I can remember if it finishes up the way I think it's going to finish up. And that's just saying it as it is. There's no way to dress it up. But
I think the way it's, for me, the way it's gone with the wording that's come out of the club, and not even out of the club with you know, so-called journalists telling you, you know this, you know that, actually coming from people sitting in front of you, you know, going, we're looking at it every day, we're constantly looking at it. You can't constantly look at something all summer and go, yeah, sign a goalkeeper for 2 years' time and let's get Chiesa. You can't be. You know what I mean? I'd be insulting you. If I said to you, Shani, have you been looking at that all summer, what have you done? I've one spreadsheet there. Well, you know what I mean? I'd be insulting you if I answer that question. For me, when it comes to this window, I'm not happy with it. Right? I wish them all the best, and I hope they win all the games. But I think they are leaving themselves short, right? And I've said it for a while. It's very brave what they're doing, and you can bang on about owners, and you can bang on about this and bang on about that. There's two people here, in Ernest Slot and Richard Hughes, that are constantly looking at it, and their name is constantly put out there as looking and assessing and this. They're taking a massive risk, I think, both of them, in their careers. If they turn around on Friday night and go, no, that's our lot. We're happy. We've assessed it. We feel we've a great squad. He did inherit a really, really good squad. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
but he's let go.
Holes.
But he's
holes that need.
Of course there is. And even the holes that you may have filled with a Bobby Clark, or may have filled with a Boy Chetic, or may have filled with a whoever. Do you know what I mean? They're not being filled because those players are gone. A Carvalho, a Vandenberg. You may have filled holes with them, but you're not doing it now. You've let them go. So, to me, it just feels But the best of luck to them. But and listen, I don't think like Jono says, brave. I call it stupid. You call it stupid, Jono. I could
I,
possibly call it
I,
stupid, but
I'd
they're
say
not.
it's
But
stupid
they're
as
not
well.
sitting. Yeah, but they're not sitting there saying, "Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something stupid." They're the decision makers, and they live and die by these decisions that they make. And the thing is, the positions they're in, new, after Klopp pressure on, they mightn't live very long. And I'm listen. That's not me being hyperbolic about it. It's they may not live very long. If Liverpool turn in January and they're eighth place and there's injuries everywhere and the players aren't playing well, what pressure's going to come at them. But I just don't think. For the evidence we've seen of what they've tried to do and the wording they've put out over the summer, that Chiesa and a goalkeeper coming in next season is what they've spent all season looking at, or all summer looking at. It's just not.
No.
No.
Doesn't like you and I'd imagine if you were sitting down the two boys in the room, they tell you the same. Look, I think the Silver Mendy thing fucked them up big time. And I think they put all their eggs in that basket and the basket went missing. And it's just, that's the case. And look, I'm as frustrated as anyone that they haven't identified someone else. But
like Jerry says there, they won't die because nobody from Boston is demanding titles of them. Jerry, you haven't a fucking breeze what they're demanding of them. And neither do I. I don't know why people make statements like that. They don't know. You don't know what FSG are demanding.
They're reading it online and then they're running with it.
But honestly, you don't know what they're demanding. You really, really don't. You really, really don't. But the thing is, don't get me wrong, it's not a hard thing to put out there. Oh, Liverpool only spend what they earn, and they're not doing this and they're not doing that, and look, they mustn't want to win. They mustn't want to win. If they didn't want to win, they just take all that money now and run. They just sell the club and get out. But they're still there. They're still there. But it's okay to be not happy with it. I honestly think it's one of those where they're setting themselves up to be absolutely hammered at any stage of this season. If
the optic, look, I'll just the last thing I'll say on it, because I'm sure we're probably going to end up doing a show before the weekend's over. Look, the optics aren't good for Hughes in his first window, and the reason why I'm gonna, obviously Edwards is the one who employed him, but they seem to really they made it really clear that he was the person in the back working with Slot, because the two of them done the press conference together, and I think he's under pressure. I can see why they didn't do the Lenny Euro deal, but they shouldn't never open their mouth about it. They shouldn't never said, "Oh, we were going to be in for them if Madrid walk away." And look, I get why they didn't do that. I get why they didn't do that deal, because the deal that they thought would have been way more cheaper was made way more expensive due to United's horniness, I'll use, for want of a better term. So they said, well, that doesn't suit us now. And I get that 100%. There's no point getting dragged in stupid games like that. But the Zubimendi thing just it's a bad look. No matter what way you paint it, it's a bad look.
100%.
They should have saved that. They should have known straight away, as soon as there was a hint of them changing their mind. They should have dropped it and saved face and says, "No, we're pulling out," and then just went and done something else. That's what they should have done, because we've done that well in the past, where we've walked away and just picked up Salah when we were trying to get fucking Brandt or Mane when we tried to get Goethe. Even last year they couldn't get Caicedo, so they just said, "Right, you know what we'll do? We'll take Gravenberg," and George Smack has had to give us a shout on this Endo fella. And look, Endo proved to be brilliant last year. Let's be honest, he was excellent. So it's one of them. I think Hughes is under pressure, and I think what you're saying is if the results aren't going your way, it just turns the heat up that little bit. But they have to get it right, and then even when the window closes, these 3 massive contracts he needs to tie up. So it's huge.
But you were saying to me the other day, though, judging by his wording within this thing with Jamie Carragher, you feel that, and others as well feel that there's contract on the table there, because his wording is
I find it difficult to believe that like these lads are literally 3 or 4 months away from being able to sign for whoever they want, and they're kind of putting out there. Look at Allison, for example. Now, look, I'm happy here. I know he's loads of time left on his contract.
Hmm.
Virgil saying the same. Virgil saying all the right things. Trent probably not acting the right way. Let's be honest. Spitting his dummy out a little bit. I'm very public with it. I don't know, but a huge job on. And the thing is, if you sign them down, it's all well and good, yeah. But if two out of three of them go, you're in a world of trouble next year. You're in a world of trouble next
Oh
summer
yeah,
because
there's no doubt about it. John says, let's be real. FSG is model as long as LFC are in the top, they're happy. If you want to win, you don't have the windows we've had year after year. Who's won the title? Tell me who's won the title for the last 6, 7, 8 years. Who's won it? There's only 2 teams have won the fucking title in the UK in the last 6 years, 7 years, I think. And one of them is Liverpool, and the other one is Man City. So what are we doing about all these other teams start spending buckets and buckets and buckets of money and not winning titles? Like people, like you'd swear Liverpool won fuck all. You'd actually swear
they've
they
won
won
everything.
nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you're spoiled. He was spoiled, to be honest with you. And they
Yeah.
turn around and tell you it's mid-table mentality. It's not.
No.
We're up against a lot of fucking cheaters. Like Gab said, if we didn't have a winning mentality, we would have never beaten Man City. We would have never won Champions Leagues. They wouldn't have went for Klopp. They would have went for someone else who would have been less expensive. You know what I mean? They wouldn't end up making him third eyes. Like, think about what you're saying, really. Genuinely, like, think about what you're saying.
Well, Jerry says,
spending money. Look, Jerry, I'm gonna say this last thing because you fucking and you're entitled to their opinion, but you haven't stopped whinging since the start of the show. If spending money guaranteed you league titles, Chelsea would have ran away with the league last year. United would have had 24, 25 titles. Arsenal would have won the league last year. Spending money guarantees you fucking nothing. Getting the right recruitment, you have it all twisted. But if it makes you feel better, carry on.
Well, Jerry says, who came second, Gab? We came second. But what do you want to do? You want to come second then? Is that what you want? Behind City? Are you happy to just come second behind City? You want to win titles a minute ago. Now you're saying, oh, well, we never came second. You know what I mean? No, but like, you know what I mean? We do 97 points and come second. We do 99 and win it. I think we do 91, 94, something like that as well one season. Like, it's not like Liverpool are sitting around going, yeah, we just don't spend money, lads, and we might get, if everyone else is shy, we might win the league. Like, you have to understand what you're up against. And literally, I'll do a show tomorrow on 115 charges for Man City, and you'll all be in here going, they're a fucking disgrace. That's what you're up against. And nobody else has done them, by the way. Nobody has done them. And you can go on about, don't get me wrong, I think Arsenal have put together a really, really good squad. I think United, you can say what you want about them. There's people putting good squads together. But what you're up against is the only team that's ever gone against these fellas and beat them is us. But we're meant to be the ones with the mid-table mentality, and we're the ones that, we finished second once in the last 4 years. Will you fucking get off the stage, will you? Like, I've no problem with people not being happy with this window. I think I've told you for the last 45
Neither of
minutes.
us are happy.
No.
Oh, you're not happy, Gav.
No, but stop coming back to me with, what have we done? Past mistakes, blah, blah, blah. We've only come second once in the last 4 years. Nobody's beaten these pricks. Nobody. Like, they're literally going out and winning year after year after year. And people will say, that's because they improved their squad. No, it's not. I'll tell you what it is. It's because for 7 years, they went and they fucking committed all sorts to put themselves in that position where they can spend what they want. And no one can touch them. And they're the best boys now because, you know what? They're the best boys now because look at their net spend over the last 5 years. It's all bollocks because of what they put themselves, the position they put themselves in. Do you know what I mean? It's like me spending millions, right, to win the fucking lotto and then saying, he spends much less now. Yeah, but he spent millions to win that lottery win. He bought loads of tickets to win. And now people are going, isn't he a great fella for only spending so much now? Like, it's all nonsense. It's so swayed, and it's so, like, the argument is so off the wall. It's untrue. But listen, keep going if you want. I'm not happy with the window. I've said it to you. I'm not happy about the midfield thing. And I could be. Owen says, Gav, you're telling us how to support the team again. He's laughing. I'm not. I'd never tell you how to support
So
Liverpool.
I'll tell you how to support the team. Get fucking behind the team, regardless of who's signing or who's playing or who doesn't sign. You're a fucking. It's a supporter at the end of the day. You fucking sit around bitching and whinging about what you want, but support the poxy team. End the day. End the discussion. Simple as that. Oh, I want this. I want. It's spoiled. Like I'm 32 now. Next week, for the majority of my lifetime, Liverpool have been shite. And you know what? I'm thankful for that. Because if they were good the whole time, the wins wouldn't mean fucking anything. You can't turn around and say, they know it. Like, they went out, they sold Coutinho. They bought the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. They bought the most expensive defender in the world. They threw money at Fabinho. They threw money at fucking Klopp. They hired Klopp. They paid Klopp major money to keep him around. They look at the ground. When's the last time you've been to Anfield? When was the first time you've been to Anfield? Look at the difference in the ground. Like, it, the frustration's taken out. John Henry doesn't give a bollocks about Liverpool. I can guarantee you that now. He's a capitalist and he's fucking sitting away over there. You're there tweeting him. He doesn't give a bollocks. Like, he doesn't give it. It's nothing got to do with him. Be mad at the people who are actually involved in the club.
But hold on, can I just... Sorry, Sean.
Who are involved in the day-to-day.
Sorry, Shawnee. I'm convinced we're being wound up here, right? And I'll answer this and then we leave it, right? He says, Jono says, Arsenal have spent a fortune the last 5 years. They aren't state-owned, right? I'll come back to you in a minute. We can't keep saying we aren't City. Well, we aren't, because we didn't do what they're supposed to have done. When Arsenal United are still splashing the cash without oil money, go and check out how much debt Manchester United are in. And then look at yourself and see how many Manchester United fans are actually happy with what's going on. And then have a look at many of them are hanging their hats on Ineos, right? Because, they got a great deal there. They got 3 million off a fella. Like, they're in a fucking world of their own world, right? Arsenal haven't won a bleeding tap and spent all that money, right? Haven't won a tap, right? And then Jono follows up with, we have letdowns in the window every summer. The last great window we had was 2018 with Fabinho and Alisson. Are you judging your supporting fucking life on how good a transfer window was? Because you've just mentioned a thing in 2018 there. In 2019, the following year, who gives a fuck who we signed? We're European champions. The year after that, who cares? We won a league title, right? The year after that, funny enough, we actually go and do Jota and we do Thiago that you have mentioned, right? We have a horrendous time.
I put my hand up and say that's the last time where I felt, and even then we were short the centre back. I get why, I get it, but I don't. I get why people are frustrated, but I don't get why they're fucking tweeting John Henry. John Henry is not involved in Liverpool. He's not involved in the day-to-day. It's like if your phone goes dead and you're like, oh, fucking the battery on my phone's bollocks, I'm going to give Tim Cook a bell off Apple. I think he gives a fuck. Like, it doesn't make us... Like, you're mad at the wrong people. And you're being told what to be mad at by shit you're reading on social media. Just back out of it. Enjoy the football. Fucking hell. Remember when we were shy? Jesus Christ. I don't know how he would have survived. I remember to see that picture we saw in Danny Wilson fucking
I remember that one.
Fucking Joe Cole and some Brazilian guy. What was his name? Downey or something? Like, honest to God.
Jovanovic was there as well. They were the crack. But no, look, I think it's just, for me, it's okay to not like what's going on in the window. That's fine. I think that's fairly reasonable. But I don't know where we're going back to 2018 and 2019 and 2020. We're in 2024. What's gone on has gone on. And turning around and saying, I'm not happy with the window, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. And come out and say it. But then all this stuff about, and this owner and this and this and look at this and the last good window we have. And we're like, lads, why do we keep going back 5 years? Why do we keep going back? And do you know what the biggest problem was when Liverpool were actually shy? Was we kept looking back. We never looked forward. We always looked fucking back at 1989 and 1990 and 1991 and fucking the 70s and the 80s going, weren't we great then? Yeah, we were, yeah. But we're going forward here, not backwards. And don't get me wrong, I said it to you before. If Friday night comes and we don't have a midfielder, in my opinion, definitely a midfielder. I'm kind of going, it's not enough. I've actually said it here tonight. Do you know what I mean? And if we get to January and we're fourth in the league and we're 10, 12 points off the top, you're kind of going, we could have done with one more, lads. That's all right. But at the end of the day, me and you can argue, right? As much as we want. But the guys that are making decisions make the decisions.
Stockholm, like, do you know, like, no, because I could just walk away and not do this YouTube show tomorrow. I'm not on social media. I just support Liverpool. Does that make me a top red? Fair enough. I just support Liverpool. I couldn't give a fuck. At the end of the day, it's Liverpool. It'll always be Liverpool. I don't care who owns us, and I don't really give a fuck who plays for us. Simple as that. The one thing I said it last week, he got back in for Mendy. I didn't want the cunt because he doesn't want to play for Liverpool. That's the truth. I support Liverpool. I've been going to Liverpool when we were shy, rock bottom. One of the first games I was ever at, we were fucking beaten by Wolves at home under Hodgson. That's the God honest truth. And then I walked out that ground tonight and I couldn't wait to get back. I thought we'd never get to where we got to. So that's my perspective on it all. I thought I'd never see us win the Premier League. I thought I'd never see a Champions League after Istanbul. Fucking, you can't. It goes in cycles and it comes in cycles. Like, the least this squad and that manager deserves is a bit like is a support. That's all. Like, don't be moaning about what does and doesn't happen. People don't around telling people how to support the club. Just fucking support the club and stop whinging. Or if you want to whinge, go over onto another channel where they sit there roaring at the screen and putting shit up on the fucking on the banners and the captions and the headlines to draw you in, and then spit you out when it doesn't happen because you have you all there going Russia. Social media has made us all fucking mad. That's the truth. It's made you all. You crave the dopamine you get off when you see a tweet from Paul Joyce or fucking Fabrizio Romano or David Orange or whoever you nail your colours to. That's what's happened. You get like it's like crack. It's like genuine. The dopamine they get off these transfers, they actually prefer to the football. Whereas I can't wait for this fucking window to be closed, so then we can just worry about the football.
So Alex in the chat says, these guys are what is wrong with the fan base. I presume it's me and you, Shani, we're the issue. Happy with whatever. You clearly haven't watched this channel more than... Well, if you'd watched the last 40 minutes, you wouldn't have based that. They'd be better off going and support the blue shirt across the park. Okay. Gav, would you rather have a midfielder? I have a real question.
Go and support the blue shirt. Like, they don't even know what to start if their club's going to exist in 2 or 3 years, where they're going to be playing their football. That's problems.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I'm mad.
I have a real question from, and I hope I don't absolutely massacre this name, Horder Bjarnason. Can you see that on the screen? Did I do well there? He sounds Icelandic. I want to say Icelandic. He said, Gav and Shawnee, would you rather have a midfielder than a centre-back?
Midfielder.
If one's to come in.
Midfielder.
It has to be, doesn't it?
We've needed a midfielder since the year before Fabinho went. It's just we need a midfielder, and we haven't been able to get the one fucking over the line. To be honest with you, that we needed, but we fucking badly. And I don't know who the answer is. I could sit here and say, "Oh, crunch numbers," and someone put the name in the chat of that fella I was talking about earlier from Salzburg. I've never seen him play. Yeah, look. For me, it has to be a midfielder.
I'd agree. I think and again, I still think it's a bit ropey centre halfways if you're deciding Joe Gomez doesn't leave and he is a centre back and you're going to go with your 4 fullbacks. That's the decision you've made. If you're going with those four centre backs, I think it's still a bit ropey, because of age, on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, look, call a spade a spade. It shouldn't be either or. We should have had one of each in. That's my opinion.
Realistically, the summer should have been a centre back, a midfielder, and if you do Chiesa, and I kind of went on about for a long time going centre back, midfielder, and if a forward leaves, we might bring one in. That's what's kind of.
And I actually think, to be honest with you, I think another area of the team where it's not even talked about enough is left back. I think we need left back.
Yeah, but that conversation comes up again because if you're designating Joe Gomez as a centre back, you're ruling. I'm not saying he can never play at left back again for Liverpool, but you're ruling out him as one of the left back options, and you really are by keeping if you're keeping two left backs there, two dedicated left backs, and not bringing one in. Like it's for me, both ends of the age spectrum at centre back. I think injury prone in Kanate. That's just
But
that's
Gav, I
just
think
fact.
the way we're playing football now is a lot different.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot different, and I think the need for a fella who can do what Gravenberg does to his level or better is huge because it's so important to the team. Not saying we don't need defenders, but I just feel like how many one-on-one saves has Allison had to make in the
No, I think don't get me wrong.
like
I think they've
it
looked
is
very.
different.
They've looked.
It is different.
They've looked. Dylan O'Rourke says that Ornstein is confirming that Bojcetic is off to Salzburg, so that will be a straight loan.
Good.
Let me see. What else have I got? Sorry. Excuse me. So yeah, I think we don't sign a centre back. We don't sign a centre back full stop, and I don't think we sell one now. Because you have to bring one in, and that's a very short turnaround time. With midfield, going back to the original question, it'd be a midfielder. If you told me I could have one more between now and Friday at 11 p.m, it's 100% a midfielder, 100%, no doubt about it. I think just and not for the even if you go away from the injury records or the reliability or whatever it might be or quality, when you look at it, it's for me it's still a gaping hole in that Liverpool squad. Is somebody that can come in and control the midfield from deep. Whether that's on his own or with someone beside him, I'm not having a go up Gravenberch on this. I think he's been excellent. But I think it's a gaping hole there that if you haven't got Gravenberch or you haven't got a McAllister, who are you putting in there? And I just don't see any of the rest of the lads playing deep and doing what we need to do. That's where I am on it.
And that's where I am on it as well. Like, and that's that's the frustrating part is that, and again, call us top reds or whatever you want to call us. I genuinely couldn't give a gee. That's the God honest truth. But on the flip side is, I'm as annoyed as anyone about the fact that Liverpool haven't done business. I'm just not gonna. There's just certain ways to go about inventing it, and I think the fact that it's 2 days before the end of the window here, and we're saying either or, it should have been both. It should have been.
Yeah, I think,
and I think the fact that we've got would show that the hierarchy, the new hierarchy that have recently come in, have failed their first test, in my opinion, and that's just me being blunt.
Yeah, and I think, look, when I look at it, again listening to what's being said with looking at this and looking at that and constantly looking at it and this and the other. For me, it's more of a case of these are the decisions they've made, and they are going to have to answer for them decisions. The sort of way. Don't get me wrong. We could be here in May going, fuck me, he got rid of a few players there. He only brought in Chiesa, and Jay's Liverpool have gone and won a league title. He obviously seen something there, and he felt he could go with it. That's fine, but there's very little grey area in football. So if Liverpool don't win a league title and finish third again, people will go, well, in fairness, if they finish third, you kind of say to yourself, he's done really well as a forward. Under all circumstances, he's done really good in his 4 seasons as manager of Liverpool. But, I think if we were in the race, massively in the race, with 6, 8 to go, and the wheels fell off a little bit, you'd be going, listen, new manager or not, you're all kind of seeing from the data that this is what's going on and whatever else. But they live and die by it. They will live it. And you know what? I think the 99% of Liverpool fans feel we need a midfielder. The manager and Richard Hughes probably feel they don't. And that's their decision, not ours.
No, they definitely do. They definitely do.
Well, they've showed you that they do.
Yeah. Look, listen, if he is going to keep Martin, then I want to see him on the bench ahead of Endo.
But this is my point. You either put Martin or Trainee only on that bench, or you don't. And if you're not going to, you need to bring somebody in. Do you know what I mean? You just do. Like, my argument is, I think Trainor only looks a wonderful footballer, right? And I think Tyler Martin has done really well in the Championship. But I still think Bajcetic is better than both of them for what we need. That's my opinion on it. But he's going out on loan. Do you get me? So, and I think, I go back to what I said earlier. If Liverpool have decided they don't need midfielders and they're going to name check Nyoni and they're going to name check Martin, they better be in squads. They have to be in squads. And they have to be in ahead of Endo. Because Endo's literally being thrown to the wolves since 20 minutes into Betis. Do you know the sort of way?
Yeah,
and if you end up with two young midfielders playing 23s football and being called in at the odd time.
Yeah, the Bajcetic thing is mad for me because, like, as soon as it came to end the pre-season, Slot was thrown Nyoni on ahead of him. That's a telltale to me.
It's his first sub of pre-season.
Yeah, that's a telltale to me. And then he I think he plays him then, and he starts him in the next game, doesn't he? If I remember correctly.
Who's the second one? Arsenal. Does he start him? I think he might.
He started him, yeah. So, look, something mad could happen at 2 days, and this could be all fucking hyperbole and bollocks. But let's see.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. I've enjoyed that. Hour and
Tactic, isn't it?
Yeah, an hour and 6 minutes. I've enjoyed it. And anyway, listen, you know, everyone gets hot-headed and stuff like that. Don't worry about it. It's only playing game football.
Come on and talk about it.
Yeah.
That's 100%. What I say. Come on, like come on. In fairness, John, a lad did it before, and we had a great discussion about FSG. And I think in the end, we all came around. We were all kind of saying the same things.
But that's the thing about it all. I think we all do agree on like 95% of things. I think it's just these small little bits that, you know, you're kind of going, it's just nah. And maybe I'm throwing myself over one edge in one direction and they're throwing themselves over the edge on another direction.
Yeah, that's true as well. And the answer's somewhere in the middle. The answer is always somewhere in the middle. And this place, Europa draws on tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah. Red Steve says, Gav, your missus alright with you keeping your motorbike inside? Yeah, sure, it was raining out last night. Why would I fucking have it outside? It's a whopper bike, by the way. Do you know what I'm actually going to start doing? That's my son's corner, and he puts all the stuff into it, and I mean the whole fucking world into that corner of the room.
There you go, Gav. We done call-in shows before, actually.
Yes. We've done call-in shows, and we've given out the things for people to call in, and nobody calls in. Nobody calls in, and I promise you, we've done it.
Bruno said if he didn't sign someone, he wasn't going to.
Bellingham, was it?
Bellingham.
It was the greatest thing ever. It was the greatest thing ever. Was his name Bruno?
Yeah, it was Bruno. Yeah, he said if he didn't sign someone, he wasn't going to go to his sister's wedding.
No, it wasn't. It was like was it something like I'm telling you now, Liverpool better sign Bellingham before my sister's birthday or something, wasn't it? It was outstanding.
Something like that, yeah.
It was outstanding work. But yeah, that room behind me on this side is my son's corner of the room. So there's motorbikes and all sorts going on over there. But I might start putting random stuff in that corner, you know. I don't know, cardboard cutouts of the Beatles or whatever I can get my hands on and just start annoying us with that.
Gav isn't 3'1", by the way. I don't know if anyone probably seen the Kop TV video.
Oh, I got lashed.
Yeah,
but hold on a minute. I'm 5'5", and right, I'm not big. I'm not a tall guy. I'm just 5'5". But like Shawnee's fucking 6'1", and Alex is about 6'2". Is he 6'3"?
Alex is about 6'3", 6'4". I'm just 6'2".
Yeah. And I'm left beside these pricks, like, you know what I mean? But we enjoyed that as well. We'll try to get Alex on soon as well. But we're going to leave it there. Owen says, Shawnee, we are also the last quiz champions. Did you and Owen both win the last quiz?
That was me. That was me ultimate as well, that was.
That was to go along with your 3XL World Championships.
Yeah, it was like when
Excel spreadsheets.
Like when Shawn Michaels bet Ric Flair at WrestleMania, it was just going out that way, and then that was the end of it. It wasn't never coming back after.
Said sorry to him before he hit him with the sweet
shame. Just done it for the fans, you know yourself.
That's what we need back. We need some WWE attitude here back.
What's this lasagna? What am I missing out? There
was a big chat the other day in the Telegram about lasagna. How to cook lasagna, what you eat with lasagna. What do you like with lasagna, Shawnee?
Don't like lasagna.
No? Not a fan.
No,
It was
no.
more
I'd rather just pass it
alright on its
like
own.
no, like tagliatelle, ragu, like something like that.
Just the sauce on it, no mince in it.
Yeah, of course,
Right.
mince. Yeah, I don't like
The setup of the lasagna.
just too much cheese.
No. You don't have to put too much cheese on a lasagna. Anyway, the big thing about it the other day was somebody says they look a bit of coleslaw with the lasagna.
Yeah,
And
must
there
have
was
got
more
that
that
in
going on.
Mount Joy or something, was it?
What?
You must have got that in Mount Joy or something. That's absolute corpo.
Absolute lasagna and
Coleslaw.
coleslaw down the Doka Centre.
Honest to God. Do you know what? You can ring the Smartins anyway if someone was feeding you that. I'll send you on the number. Talk to Fred. That's bleeding brutal.
Tell him Shawnee sent you. Right, we have
You
to
know
go.
what? I hope they're not giving bleeding Chiesa lasagna.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But look, Shawnee, lasagna and chips, there's nothing wrong with that. My point to this was, no matter
Big
how much
corpo.
no matter how much you dress stuff up, if you put chips with it, it's fucking grand.
Yeah, lasagna and chips. Like
Do you know what I mean?
it's like the Italians don't put potatoes near that field.
Yeah, but what do you
They
mean?
don't. Italians don't put potatoes near that field.
What about the lads down in the bars? They put fucking everything near their chips, potatoes.
I actually listened to a podcast about the origin of Irish chippers, and it was one of the best things I ever listened to. By the way,
Yeah, could you get us a link?
yeah, I'll send it on to you. Blind Boy Bow Club. There's only two countries in Europe where there's Italian chippers: Scotland and Ireland.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no chippers in Italy.
No, some Italian fella rocked up here and said, "These fuckers just love potatoes. I'm gonna start frying them." And then I was like, "I can't sell these quick enough, so start writing home." And then he goes, "We'll all go over and just sell them fried potato." Because listen, if you walked into it, tell you what, next time you're in Italy, you go into Rome, you say, "Give us a single, or give us a bag of chips." They're probably gonna hand you a packet of bleeding crisps or something.
Layers, a packet of layers.
Yeah, like they'd be looking at you with 10 heads. You ordered a bleeding and a nice carbonara. Have you any chips? They'd be like, yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, they don't eat them.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think chips or anything else is sound, as far as I'm concerned. And you see, in fairness, our chips are whopper out of the chipper.
Like Leo Bordocks, chipper chips with fish bits,
Salt and vinegar.
salt and vinegar.
Can't go
And you
wrong.
know what? The ultimate cheat code then, a slice of batch bread with real butter.
Oh, stop and go. And go. I've had enough. You've just... There's no point in doing that podcast. Well, there's no point in doing an hour and 12 minutes. You've nailed it right at the end. Right, we're out of here. That has been the Talkin Kop for Wednesday night. We may be back tomorrow if more stuff happens. We'll be definitely here on Friday for the last hour of the transfer window. And then we'll be back Sunday then for post-match.
I won't be here on Friday. I'm going Coldplay.
Are you going to Coldplay?
We're going on Friday night, yeah.
Alright. Sure, we might ring you. Get a bit of a live reaction. Chris Martin. With the DM situation.
Imagine me signing some bleeding. Jay Spearman's getting called up to the first team at 11 o'clock on Friday. I'll end up.
Johnny, what would you do? What would you do?
In the face.
What would you do if you were walking into Crow Park on Friday and the old Liverpool app blew up and it just went, they're signing fucking, I don't know, pick a shy midfielder. They just picked some fella up.
Someone throw a shy midfielder. We'll go out on this. Who's gonna be the Arta Mello of this window?
No, if they just
think of someone like a mad Steve Colca boss. Think of someone who's just absolutely like an absolute jobber of a six.
Yeah, imagine it come up Liverpool. We've come to an agreement with player, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like it'd ruin your concert, wouldn't it? I know.
Do you know what? I'm actually starting to come around to the idea of Rabiot as well. By the way, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but to be more, is Mars mad?
I'm trying to think of how like Who
Like,
am I?
he's the sort of player that turn up in Liverpool and his ma be trying to get across the bleeding VIP section to reap the head off slack because our son isn't the captain of Liverpool. Sanderberg,
Sanderberg is like
he likes
Sander
Sanderberg.
I'm
Oh,
Sanderberg
pronoun
is
dilemma says
quality.
Jordan Henderson.
Oh, imagine.
Amrabat.
Oh, Am- Amrabat.
Ashley
Oh,
Young. Ashley Young on a free.
Suchek.
Suchek, Garner, John Joe Shelby, Wanyama. There's loads coming in here, in fairness. Tom Davis. Oh my God, yeah. Tom Davis, former Everton player.
Jack Colback.
Jack Colback. Imagine walking into Crow Park and it comes up. Liverpool have agreed a deal, multi-year deal with Jack Colback, signing a Jack Colback. Johnny, it'd absolutely ruin your concert without a shadow of a doubt.
I think I'd give me phone. I'd give the ticket away. I'd give me phone away with the ticket on it.
Yeah,
If that happened, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Jack Colback's a belter. Right, we have to go. That has been the Talkin Kop. Thanks being to Shawnee. Thanks being to everyone in the chat. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, become a member, all that messing. And we'll talk to you again soon. Over now.
Floyd Marsh Barber calls.